Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are in the Edinburgh to get our first look at this ship. Now, I'll be honest, I've had this ship for a long time, but I've not given you guys a game yet because I haven't really had a good game. I've had a bunch of ho-hum games, and the game that I chose to show you guys is not a good game at all. But it's a funny one, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So for that case, I decided that I even had a better game than that tonight, but that one kind of took the cake. There's so much crap that happens in it that's going to be hilarious. So let's get down to the commander. First of all, we've got Bruce Frazier on here, somebody we don't mention very often. Of course, we've got Piercer, we've got Home Run, we've got Punch Through, we've got Fixated, and we've got Fully Packed. Now, we've got Isoroku Yamamoto, and we have Norman Scott as our inspirations. There's a couple ways you could go with this. You could change it to where you use your smoke more, maybe use the commander that gives you the bonus for smoke firing, that sort of thing. There's a lot of ways you could go with this. This is just kind of a baseline build for anybody to play. This is just a normal build. But the home run perk is the better one here rather than this, because obviously you don't get AG. So let's look at the ship itself. Now, as you can see, we're definitely fully upgraded. I've played this ship quite a bit, but I've never actually gotten a game that I felt was, YouTube worthy. I've gotten several decent games, don't get me wrong, but never one that showed off the ship to the point where I think that it was good for you guys. But we'll get into that in a minute. But we've got steering gears, we've got aiming systems mod 1, we've got concealment system mod, and we've got the main battery mod for the better reload time. The loadout, we've got 3 smokes, 3 sonars, 3 heals, a little bit of everything. We're not running camo, we're not running any extra boosters on this. 36,400 hit points, not preferable. It's definitely a weaker cruiser for tier 7. Artillery, it has 152 millimeter guns, it has 12 of them, and they fire out to 15 kilometers. They have a 6.5 second reload, and the 180 degree turn time is 29.6, which is not good. That's getting up there with the battleships again, and I don't know what it is. Maybe that's a theme. Maybe I like my ships to actually turn the guns, and I don't know why 152 millimeter guns can't turn. That doesn't make any sense to me. They're small guns. The turret should be able to turn. Somebody will have to let me know in comments below. Maybe there's something that's actually ship related that causes it to be slow turret. AP shell damage 3,255 maximum damage. And then this was throwing me off. I was like, secondaries. I just saw HE shell, and I'm like, wait, we don't get HE. But then I forgot it's secondaries. It's got a few secondaries. They're low caliber, and 1,500 damage with a 6% chance to set on fire. Torpedoes, 10.8 kilometers. Should sound familiar to anybody with a Lightning. It is your long-range British torpedoes, so they're pretty good. And as always, you can fire them tube by tube if needed. Generally speaking, I always seem to forget that I have torpedoes, and that's what I'm going to kind of do in this match that you'll see. Maneuverability, 33.1 knots is right there with, the Baltimore. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Concealment, 10.8 kilometers is pretty good for a Tier 7 cruiser. 6.5 kilometers by air, 2 kilometer guaranteed, 5.7 in smoke. So pretty good in the smoke, but you can buff that a little bit further. Overview, sequential torps, that's where you fire them tube by tube. Flare for piercing, equipped with only armor piercing shells. Greater heal, it has a better heal than most other cruisers. And for the description, the most powerful light cruiser in the Royal Navy during World War II. Outrivaled most other same type ships in terms of armor protection. She inherited powerful main guns from her predecessors, among other Royal Navy cruisers of the 30s. Edinburgh carried more powerful AA weapons. So there were 2 of them built. She entered service in 1939. Now, let's look at the ship real quick. It's not a bad looking ship. I don't mind the looks of the British cruisers. But I honestly prefer the Fiji as far as just a ship to take out and play. Personally, I had better luck with the Fiji. This thing just seems too squishy. It gets hit anywhere on the ship that isn't the direct bow, and it immediately takes a citadel. Like, it gets citadel through the deck armor really badly. It's just, there's a lot of not preferable moments, but it's not a bad ship. But we'll go over that once we get to the gameplay. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alrighty, so we are on Estuary. You guys should know Estuary is my favorite map. It always has been. Just really like this map. Now, I'm going to throw my ship away. Not gonna lie. Right off the bat, I'm gonna die pretty early. It's mostly my fault, but at the same time, there's a thing that leads up to me making that decision, and you'll see what I mean. Now, one of the things that I try to do in a light cruiser is hunt destroyers. So that's going to play a big part into what I decide to do. And before we get ahead of ourselves, no, it isn't how you think I'm going to die. But hopefully you guys enjoy. It's going to be a good match. I hope you guys stick around. It's going to be a good match. It's going to go right down to the wire. The teams are going to be pretty fun. So there's a lot of fun moments. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is I'm pushing up to the center. On Estuary, in a cruiser or a battleship, I like to control mid because it gives you many more options as to what you can do. Now, here I start trying to mute the PlayStation guy because his mic is just constantly going, and it's annoying as crap. But unfortunately, I can't seem to mute him. Wargaming, please fix. I should have a mute button in there so that we can mute people. Even if they're cross-network. Now, we've got a Fiji right here who overran a smoke. We take a couple shots at him because why not? And you'll notice that we maintain detection, which means there are destroyers out here. And given that it's a domination, and given that there are 3 destroyers, it's not uncommon to think that there's a destroyer right here. And the fact that I'm targeted, or the fact that I'm spotted, kind of leans to that. So you're going to see, get close here. I check where the Helena is going. I don't want to leave him, because if he goes broadside to me, like if he's going to go give me broadside, I want to be able to get him out of the map. Now, this Kagero here goes away the moment I look at him, because that's how Kageros work. Every time you look at them, they disappear. But I'm about to use, well, I've already started using my, my sonar. Now, the sonar in this ship isn't bad, and you can see I've got a Akatsuki spotted on the other side of this island. 3.5 kilometers away. Now, he's going to set up in a position to take shots at our destroyer. And you'll see what I'm about to do is just absolutely get ready to torp him, thinking that he was about to rush through the gap. But he doesn't. He kind of sits there, broadside on, just absolutely begging for it. So we're going to give it to him. X going to give it to him. No? It's going to be a thing. Now, if you've ever been in a destroyer and you've decided, and I fire those torpedoes as kind of a safety net because I figure he's going to try to run away. But unfortunately for him, first shot we disable his propulsion. He's going to hit the DC, he's going to fix that and try to run, but it's honestly too late. By this point, you are done. There's nothing you can do about it. Before your smoke gets deployed, you're done. And he launches his torpedoes in a desperate hope to finish me off. But I'm not a dummy. I knew that was going to happen. So I maintain my full speed ahead away from him, and then there's a Kagero in front of me. But what is a Kagero doing, guys? Why would he come after me in a cruiser? Because he's launching torpedoes, of course. Now watch, I am not only dodging the torpedoes that are behind me, but I'm also dodging the torpedoes in front and the ones that he hasn't launched yet. So we dodge his torpedoes, we dodge that torpedo, and we manage to absolutely school these guys in launching torpedoes at close range. And then we're going to absolutely punch him in the mouth. Now, you'll notice that their Fiji is creeping up on me as we knock out the Kagero. Now, I have no choice. Oh my god, there's some more torps. Yep, we're going to go ahead and dodge those. Oh my god, even more torps. Unfortunately, we're going to take our first torpedo. We do hit the heel, and unfortunately, you can see just how much heel there is in this ship. That's kind of why I was throwing myself in there to get rid of those destroyers. And the Udachi was there to be got, too. All 3 of their destroyers committed to this side, and I absolutely wiped out 2/3 of them. Unfortunately, the heel wasn't able to go fast enough to keep me from dying while I was broadside to a Fiji launching armor piercing at me. That's not preferable, but relax, guys. All is good. We've got a New Orleans who's been sitting in the back this entire time while everything's been spotted, and I'm sure he's going to absolutely have no trouble getting rid of this Yadachi and this Fiji. Neither of them have any health. So it should be easy pickings for him and his New Orleans. Now, why would a Yudachi go broadside at 4 kilometers to a cruiser? Oh, he's launching torpedoes. And this guy sees the torpedoes and then just kind of says, ah, screw it, I'm dead. Yes, you are, Sunshine. So you go from one end of the spectrum, where I dodge literally every torpedo except one, to the other side of the spectrum, where this guy can't dodge a single torpedo launched in a widespread. Right. So, what's the rest of the team doing? Well, they all went and lemming train to the right side, which isn't the worst thing that could ever happen, I guess. But they've not stopped. And there's going to be quite a bit of dumbness coming up, so get ready for it. Now, first things first, we have 2 Yudachis sailing in a straight line towards the enemy. Broadside on to everybody. And they're starting to launch their torpedoes. Now, these guys are in a division. There are several cruisers on the enemy team, and all of them right there next to these guys. So what this guy does next is absolutely baffling. He's already launched his torpedoes. Why would you continue to sail towards the enemies? Makes no sense. So now he's detected. He's taking fire. I'm looking at the map right now. But he's taking fire. He drops smoke, but he doesn't try to utilize the smoke at all. And he just sails broadside on to all of the cruisers and the battleships. Now, luckily, the enemy has the same affinity for dodging torpedoes as our New Orleans. But down goes our Yudachi. Now, he did take somebody with him in his credit. And this other Yudachi that was in the division at least has the sense to use the torpedo, or use the smokescreen that he provided. I say he provided. No, this wasn't his teammate's smokescreen. This was his smokescreen. They both used a smokescreen at the exact same time. Yeah. So, a division of guys in Yudachis sailing with each other and not trying to time out the smokescreen so that they can both utilize the smokescreen. And then, just as baffling as that, this guy is going to suddenly decide that he doesn't want to live anymore and that he wants to go back to port to be with his buddy. So he's going to take off and do exactly what his buddy just did, which got him killed. Anybody want to take a guess as to how this ends? You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that is all that I can say about what's about to happen. Now, that being said, again, he gets out of the smokescreen in time to avoid the wall of skill that was sent in his direction. Our Nagato is getting shot at by some fire starters, and I noticed that the Yudachi has now cleared his smokescreen. He's behind his buddy's smokescreen for the moment, but it should be about to dissipate as well. And he's fighting a Helena in point-blank combat. It's not a good idea. However, the Shapaev behind him manages to take out the Yudachi, or he manages to take out the Helena. But he gets all of his torpedoes away, and then the Atago, again, in a cruiser that's fully capable of dodging torpedoes, manages to run right into the wall of skill that was just torpedoes stacked upon torpedoes instead of covering a great area with them. So, this is what I was talking about with just the amount of stupidity and dumbness that happened in this match. There was so much on both sides that this match had to be shown, if for nothing else but a teaching reason. So, we are technically winning the match right now, and I take a moment to let everybody know that's exactly where we're at. We are winning. Don't do anything stupid. Now, this Nagato here is getting shot up by Fiji, who is low health. Now, this Fiji either has balls of steel or is an idiot, because this is not a match that you're gonna win. But dadgummit if this Fiji doesn't manage to take a good chunk of this Nagato's health and then contributes to the fact that the Nagato ends up dying. Yes, that's all gonna happen in the near future. Now, to the Nagato's credit, he does manage to avoid those torpedoes. It wasn't hard. He was already sailing in reverse, so that's the easy part. But look at this Fiji, man. He's like, screw it. I'm fired until I'm dead. I'm going to farm every bit of damage off of this Nagato that I can. And he's going to do a heck of a job. He's going to leave this Nagato wishing he hadn't. But the Nagato gets one last round off around the corner and manages to finish off the Fiji. leaving him on 13,000 health. Now, I don't have a clue if this guy has a heal, but it looks like he's healing now, so he must have had a heal. But notice he didn't heal much because it was armor-piercing damage. It's not like he was being set on fire. And you don't heal all of your armor-piercing damage. Now, notice where the Adachi is right now. The cruiser's last known was sailing away off into the sunset, which is the dumbest thing you can do in this situation. Again, the dumbest things possible. Their cruiser sails off into the sunset to go give his crew some shore leave, and our guys do the right thing. It's a domination match. The Adachi's doing the right thing. It's a domination match. Try to capture the bases and give your team the advantage. Now, Adachi is going to flip C. There's nothing we can do about that. But we have 2 battleships and a cruiser. Right now, I am begging these guys. They're all heading into the base, so that I'm not worried about that. They're going to capture the base, which is the right move. Capture the base. But they're going to do the exact wrong thing. And it actually works out for us, kind of. But this Nagato that has 14,000 health left is going to be a victim in a moment. Now, I was begging the Shapayev to take the lead in front of the battleships that are in the front of B. The reason I wanted him to take the lead in B is so that he can clear the Adachi. The Adachi is the biggest threat. That cruiser that sailed off into the sunset isn't a threat. But with the maneuverability of the Shapayev and the fact that it has rapid-fire guns, it is our best chance against the Adachi, and the fact that he gets sonar. Now, I don't know if he has a sonar ready or anything along those lines. I assume that he does, but you never know until you see it. So, Nagato is kind of not sure where he wants to go at this point, and he's not going to pay much attention, because right about, I don't know, 20 seconds from now, Adachi's going to get jumped coming from the right side. Now, you can see in their haste to get to the front and kind of cut off where this Adachi might be, they started running into each other. The Kadaisenawa cut over in front of the Adachi, or cut over in front of the Shapayev. I don't blame the Shapayev there. These guys in the battleships obviously ready to go for the left side, thinking that's probably where he was going. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking he was going to head over to D as well, which makes the most sense. He can capture another base over there, further giving his team another cap, while these guys would have to go to A. But he doesn't. He stays out in front of A, where he can't capture any more bases. He launches torpedoes. Gneisenau, being the faster ship, manages to slip past all of these. But unfortunately, the Nagato isn't quite so lucky. But the Adachi's not long for this world. You can see he caught the battleships with their guns pointed in the wrong direction, but you're still right next to this Shapayev, and that's not going to end well for you. Now, the enemy didn't take the lead, and we managed to sink the Adachi, which means there's only a Japanese cruiser left. I don't remember if it's the Myoko or a Mogami. I haven't paid that much attention. But you're going to see one more bit of stupidity before this is all said and done. Plus, you're going to get to see some more torpedo beats. Oh, not that one. He didn't dodge that torpedo. Good thing that this isn't PC, because that would have hurt a lot. He takes a pretty good salvo of high explosive there, and that gives him the idea, hey, I can go that direction. Yeah, that's where the cruiser was last spotted, Sunshine. And look, sonar pops up. All the torpedoes in the world are there and ready to be dodged, and conveniently launched in a wide spread, stacked on top of one another for, ease of dodging. Doesn't get much easier than that, am I right? Luckily, our guy's launching high explosive at the broadside of a Mogami. Mogami is about the easiest thing in the world to Citadel at Tier 7. Why are you shooting HE at the broadside of a cruiser? Especially when you have Russian armor piercing. But at the end of the day, you've got a significant health advantage. Oh my god, he got more torps off. Luckily, he has an affinity for absolutely nailing torpedo beats, because the Mogami keeps launching them in wide spreads. And watch this next salvo of high explosive from the Mogami. Oh, not that one. It'll be the next one, because he's going to get more. Had this guy switched to armor piercing, and I am telling him in chat, I'm like, dude, why are you not shooting armor? This guy would have been dead 3 salvos ago. But Mogami hits him and hits him for like 10,000, 11,000 damage. but he's going to burn to death, and then he shoots him one last time to make sure. We end up finishing the match with 25,000 damage done. Doesn't seem like we did a whole lot, but we killed 2 out of the 3 destroyers, which made this game for our team. We end up 3rd on the leaderboard, and we died 1st on the team, I think. So, yeah, not bad for a, guy in a light cruiser. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.